Hey guys, how are you?
We're so good. Now, people like us who live in Australia and LA is a very long way away, and you are so much a part of our lives growing up. We imagine that Jason Priestley is just spending his time out in the back deck, sipping on iced tea and being a legend. Is that what your life looks like now, Jason?
Uh, oh yeah, 100%. All day, every day, sitting by the pool,
Living.
nothing but cold beers and
Oh man.
yeah, all the time.
What a dream. And the idea of having to return to work, having grown up on screen for so much of all of our lives, what's that like, the idea of having to go back to where it all began?
It's brutal. It's brutal. I like the idea of having to go back to work seems really unfair. Especially at this point in my life too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should be just languishing into an early retirement, but I was coerced into coming out of an early retirement to go back to work with a bunch of ne'er-do-well ex-cast members. And here I am.
Well, if Twitter and Instagram and social media didn't exist, you could maybe get away with never rebooting this show. But now that all the fans have direct
much love.
access to you to hassle you day in, day out, you kind of had to do it, right?
It's true. It's true. There was a great outpouring for a very long time of people wanting us to do some sort of a reboot of the show because now we live in the era of reboots and eventually we crumbled under the pressure and now we find ourselves in the midst of it right now. We're actually
Are you filming?
we're just coming to the end of shooting the first episode right now.
Tell us something. Give us a little something, Jason. Give us a little something to.
What's Brandon doing, man?
Yeah.
What's he up to?
Give
What's
us-
his life looking like
I
now?
will. I will tell you this about the show. The show will give you everything that you want, but it will not be what you expect it to be.
Ooh.
That's a good tease.
Hello.
That is a good tease.
I'm in.
Okay.
How's everyone
Yeah.
getting along now that you're back on set? Because I'd imagine when you're young and you're coming up, we all have a period where you're thrust into the spotlight and it kind of changes you as a person. But as you get older, you're different. So now that everyone's back together again with years that have passed, what's that like?
Well, we're all older now, and we're all parents now, and we all have a different perspective on our careers and on our professions and on our lives, and I think that all of us coming back together has been real. It's been really nice, and it's been really cathartic in a lot of ways, and I think that certainly for me, it's been really enjoyable to reconnect with the cast members that I haven't seen for a while, and to spend more time with the cast members that I do see on a pretty regular basis.
Have your kids seen the show? Have your kids seen the original?
My daughter, who's almost 12, she has just recently started watching the original
Oh my god.
90210, and she thinks it's really fun to watch it with me. Obviously, she won't
Yeah.
watch it without me. She only watches it when I'm there with her to enjoy it with her, and it's
Does that mean you're the
it's
one
been,
putting it
it's
on?
been quite.
You say, hey, come here. We're watching Dad.
She puts she puts it on,
Yeah.
and but she thinks it's really entertaining to watch it with me and give me a hard time
Really?
about it.
That's
right?
a
She's like,
job.
"Oh, Daddy, like why are you kissing all these girls?" So it's pretty fun.
Before that,
Yeah.
did she have any idea that you were famous? Because to her, you're just dad.
No. I'm just Dad, right?
Yeah.
And she never really understood why people would come up to me and in the street or in the shopping mall and want to take pictures with me.
Yeah.
I was like, Daddy, why do these people want to take pictures with you? And like, well, I don't understand. And now she understands.
And when you watch it back, sometimes some shows don't hold up with the passing of time. But it was such an incredible show at the time. When you watch it now and you see your early work, are you happy with it?
No, not at all.
Why?
I'm somewhat confused by it at times.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay, but there was, I don't know. Hey, look, I have the benefit of of 30 more years of,
Yeah, you've
of
other work.
experience,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but four more successful TV series under my belt, and
Exactly.
100 hours of directing experience under my belt, and I'm a far more experienced performer than I was back then, and so I look to it. I view that work to a very different lens
Yeah.
than I viewed it back then. So I'm incredibly critical of the work I do now. So I'm incredibly critical of the work that I did back then.
Hey, are you directing any of the new series?
I am, yes. I'll be directing the third episode that we do this year.
Oh, do you love getting the bossy other? That's not how I would have done it, Shanine.
I
but
do.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. Nothing gives me more pleasure than bossing my old friends around.
He's like, hey,
Anyone in particular?
Zeering, surely Zeering.
Oh yeah, I'm Zeering for sure, 100%.
That might fly on Sharknado, but not here, buddy.
Are you going to rock up on Ep 3? Are you going to rock up in like a black beret with like serious glasses and a bullhorn and like a turtleneck sweater and only speak in a weird accent?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Riding pants,
Nice.
riding crop, little joggers, the whole thing. I go all in.
Not many of us have the chance to redo things in life. So now that you are going back to it, and you're acting as well as directing, how will you do it differently now that you got the chance to redo something effectively?
Well, I think for us is to our original show broke a lot of new ground, right?
Yeah.
It was the first show of its kind, and I think with this new reboot of the show, we're trying to do something new again, and I think that's why the show will be unexpected for people because we're what we're doing is making a totally scripted fake reality show.
Interesting.
And yet parts of the show are very close to reality. So it's going to be the audience is going to have to figure out what's actually really real and what's not real.